Okay, welcome. This is James Possible, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the Dow Jones. Talk about the truth, what's happening, and give you some thoughts about where you might want to be relative to the stocks and the Dow Jones. So let's jump in here. If you've never heard this said before, it's something you really have to think about. When things get crazy like this in the market, people tend to become emotional when they trade. And when you start trading with emotions, the market will absolutely take your money from you. It's not, when you are emotional, that is not the time to trade. When you're emotional, hope, wishing, dreaming, those are the things that drive you. So let's talk about the Dow Jones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through some charts. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. What's happening right now? It's not good. First and foremost, you've got to know it's just not good. And there's a lot of people out there right now, talking heads, as I call them, well, as they're referred to commonly within the industry, the media people that the traders, investors look to, that retail traders look to. There's a lot of people saying that now's the time to start buying stuff up. And I'm going to tell you that my perspective is way different than that. Because I don't think we're even close to the bottom of this thing. Now, I'm not a professional, I'm not a certified trader. I don't have my licenses or anything like that, so I can't give you advice, but I can tell you, I can share with you my thoughts, and then you can decide whether or not they make sense to you. Because I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, what I would and wouldn't do, and right now, the Dow Jones, the stocks, it's not something I would be jumping into right now. And here's the thing. I know people that have never traded, that feel like they know what's going on, and they're going to start putting their money into the market. Absolutely the worst time in the world, with what's going on in the market, to be making such a choice. Wow. And especially when you're coming into it thinking as if you know better than the market. Horrible, horrible, horrible plan, if you want to call it a plan. All right, so let's move on here. Let's look at our first chart. Okay, so all I did was Google Dow Jones. And the reason why is because Google presents this nice little chart. I'm not sure exactly who produces the chart, but anyways, this is what comes up when you search Dow Jones, at least in my browser, okay? And it shows, so right now we're looking at a one-day chart. Now, if you've been following the market at all, you know that it's been crazy, up and down, up and down. And I say up, very tongue-in-cheek, because even Bloomberg was talking about the move yesterday and how it's a record gain. Well, let's really look at that and let's break that down, and then at the end of this, you decide, was it really a record gain? So right now on this chart, you can see that it's showing that the Dow has risen 2.39%. And so it looks pretty good when you're looking at this chart. Let's go to the 5-day chart. Here's the 5-day chart. Really, if you look at it, it's kind of looking good, right? So this is a 5-day chart. The price, is still showing the daily increase. So price definitely is still going up when we look at the 5-day time frame. In fact, there's more than a 2%. There's probably, I'm not sure, it's probably somewhere around 5 or 6% gain over this 5-day period. So in the last part of the move. So there's definitely been a gain. However, let's look at what happens when we start moving out and start looking at bigger time frames, longer time frames. So let's go to the month. This is the 1-month chart. Notice that the chart is red, first off. And let's be clear. See, so right here it's green, so it's definitely up. When we go over here to the 1 month, you see that the chart is now red, meaning that it's moving down. It's losing value. So when we go back and forth, when we go back to the 5-day, we look at this, and then we look at the 1 month, I don't know. Somebody might argue that it's bouncing, it's turning around. But for what's happening in the marketplace right now, you really need to slow down and think about it. So we're still looking at this 2.39% gain in yesterday, right? So the question is it still going up based on this chart? And the answer is absolutely not. So now let's move out to 6 months. Let's see if we can find a better perspective here. Wow. This is 6 months, a 6-month chart. Now think about that. Look at that drop. Close to 30, and it's dropped below 20. Wow. I mean, really think about that. That's a huge drop. And you can see down at the very bottom, yeah, it's starting to come back up. And so it's back up above 20. But we're still way down from where it was. And everything that's going on in the economy right now, especially with the interruption of the coronavirus or the COVID-19 virus, the excess printing of money, wow. And I don't even want to get into that right now because I just really want to talk about the Dow Jones and really slow you down, and so you think about what you're doing here. If the professionals in this business are having to liquidate assets so they can cover margin calls, do you really feel like without any experience that you're going to jump into this market and start making money? And do you really feel like you're going to be able to predict when it's turning around? So again, we're looking at the 1-day gain, 2.39%, and actually over 2 days it's been more than that. But still, looking at this chart, is the price going up or down? It's going down, like dramatically down. So now I'm going to really jump out here a little bit. Let's go out to 5 years because I really want you to understand what has happened over the last since, what is this, before March, right? So this started in February, this decline. So let's really look at what happened. Let's go out to the 5-year chart. Really take a moment to look at this chart. So notice the chart is green. Okay, we still have the 1-day gain of 2.39%. So the chart is green, so it's definitely up because, down towards the bottom, it's, 2016, it's close to, it's above 15,000. And you can see now it's come back above 20,000. So we definitely have a gain from 2016 to now. However, look at the change at the end. That's almost a straight line down. Really think about that. Is this really a market for you to be trading, investing? And do you really think this is the bottom? I'm going to talk about this more in other videos. So if this is the first time you've seen me, subscribe, ring the bell, get your notifications, because I will be talking about this. In fact, my very next video is really going to break down some of the things that are so deceiving that the typical retail trader isn't going to understand. So the chart's going up, but with a straight line down, are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? For the last month, I'm going to say to you, we are definitely going down. And we're in a horrible situation. Just look at how the chart kind of chopped its way up and then it just dropped. The pattern is completely different from what it has been from 2018 to now. The pattern has changed dramatically. I personally don't think we're going to get even close to the highs again. And if we do, it'll be so quick and come back down equally quick that no one or very few will be able to make any kind of money. In fact, most will lose money on the move. So that's my take on this. This is a reckless and dangerous time to be trading, especially if you do not have any experience. So be smart. Again, this is not the time to risk it all. Do not do it. Resist. There's still a lot. There's way too much denial in the market right now. There are way too many people thinking the market's going to just run away again, go back up. I don't see it happening. Okay, maybe it goes sideways. That doesn't really matter. Is that up? No, it's not up. And let's go back to this chart here and look at that straight drop down. Now, trying to get out, here's the thing. If you bought above where the price is right now and the market's moving down on you and you're trying to get out of it, guess what? The odds of you getting out where you want to are very, very slim. It doesn't matter if you use a stop. When price moves like this, it blows through the stop. All a stop does when it's triggered, your order becomes a market order. And so if price is dropping through your stop, price may not actually stop until, like we're talking about the moves right now, 400 or 500 points drop, losing $500, $1,000. So it just blows through your stop like it's nothing. And then your order is actually executed. So if you're leveraged, in other words, you're on margins, it's definitely not the time to be using margins. Definitely not. So again, be smart. This is not the time to risk it all. Don't use leverage, especially if you're in the stock market. And understand whatever it is you're trading in. If you're trading in derivatives, you are gambling. Bottom line, you're gambling. Don't do it. This is not the time to gamble. Actually, I don't think there is a time to gamble, but that's me as a trader. Okay, it's not too late. However, time is running out, right? Because I really feel like this thing's the bottom's just gonna drop, and it's gonna go, my thoughts, below the 2008 lows. That's just how I see it happening. There's been too much money printed, and they're trying to hold it up. Once it lets go, it's going to be boom, it's going to be horrible. And there's so many other things I could go into, but I didn't want to do that in this video. I just want to talk about the Dow Jones. And there's probably more I can say, because the Dow Jones doesn't really represent the strength of our economy. They teach you that it does, but the reality is that the Dow Jones has been manipulated. Our markets have been manipulated over the last 6 months or so by the Federal Reserve and the government. This market is being supported by money that's being printed without any real value. So if you want to learn how to protect your money, I'll be happy to share with you some of the things I'm doing. And maybe you can begin to turn yourself around, or maybe you can begin to even prepare. If you haven't risked, but you want to start preparing, maybe I can give you some ideas on that. All you have to do is text the word Dow, D-O-W, to 405-293-8388. Again, just text the word Dow to 405-293-8388. Now, sometimes when I try to text back on some of these phone numbers that I get, it doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, I'm not able to text you back. And that's always going to be the first way I'm going to respond to you. However, if you really want to make sure that I can get a hold of you, include your email address. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to send you 100 different emails. I just don't operate that way. If you don't see value, then don't bother. I'm going to keep sharing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, because the information is more important than whether or not you jump in and decide to join me and do stuff with me. I would rather you have the knowledge, the understanding, than nothing at all. And everything I do is about teaching you what I know about the market and the risks and where we are at this point in time in the market. So, again, just text the word Dow, D-O-W, to 405-293-8388. If you have a question, include that question with your text. And that's it. This is James Possible. Thank you for joining me. Remember, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you get notifications when I update it. The next video will be a big video, a long video, but it's going to be, I'm going to be drilling down on some key points that everybody needs to understand, or must understand, if you want to stay healthy financially. There's some things you just absolutely have to understand. It's not safe out there right now. This is not the time to do things in ignorance. This is the time to learn and then to execute. So again, James Possible, thank you for joining me. You know what to do. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.